Chapter 7, The Miller Legg Merger, 1995 to 1999. Several of Bob Miller's project managers complained to him in 1994 that some developer clients were hiring Miller and Associates to provide site engineering services while using surveyors other than Legg because they were much cheaper. The result was that whenever mistakes were made and there were problems with the surveying, the Miller engineers were blamed. It became apparent that too many developer clients were saving money and receiving poor survey work at the expense of the Miller and Associates team. The only solution seemed to be to offer combined engineering and surveying services, which would always be in sync and supporting each other. So Bob Miller approached Bob Legg and proposed the merger of their two firms. After 6 months of evaluating how this could be done and hiring a specialized merger consultant, the two firms became one effective April 1st, 1995. And the new entity was named Miller Legg and Associates. Their office building had conveniently carried the Miller Legg name for the previous 5 years. The consultant hired to oversee the merger said, "This was the easiest merger I've ever done." Both firms had marketed together for years, had owners who were partners in other business ventures, whose staffs worked together on a daily basis, and who shared the same building. The key issues of teamwork had been previously resolved. Bob Miller became president, and Bob Legg became senior vice president of surveying. The two Bobs expected that this combination of capabilities and resources would bring synergistic value to the new company. Little did they expect the staff to grow from 70 persons to over 100 persons in a couple of years. The merger also provided the opportunity to hire their first controller, CPA Leslie Hernandez, who brought many professional financial planning and monitoring concepts to the firm. The company hired its first Geographic Information Systems GIS expert and invested over $100,000 in GPS surveying stations. This led to the opportunity to prepare base maps for large areas of the county for the Broward County Property Appraiser's Office, a 6-year project. The company executive committee, its key leaders, had long discussed the addition of landscape architecture services to the palette of skills available in-house to their clients. Bob Miller had known Mike Kroll, a partner in the Tampa firm of Peninsula Design and Engineering, for many years. During one encounter, the conversation turned to Mike's future in South Florida. After several meetings, Bob Miller approached the owners of PD&E with an offer to buy their Fort Lauderdale operation as led by Mike Kroll. The result was the addition of 2 landscape architects, 1 engineer, and 1 biologist to Miller Legg in September 1997. The Miller Legg Executive Committee had also discussed opening an office in Palm Beach County. 2 staff members spent several months researching opportunities with public and private clients there and concluded that this would be a good place to open Miller Legg's first branch office. Bob Miller took the challenge of finding the best place to start. He interviewed the owners of several potential acquisition firms and focused his attention on DeFonte & Thomas, a 9-person highway engineering firm owned by his old friend Dennis Thomas and a partner. After many months of discussions and planning, the deal was consummated in July 1998. This later became Miller Legg's Palm Beach office. As the second millennium approached, Miller Legg was struggling with an increasing staff turnover and too many unprofitable projects. The leadership could see that something was wrong, but was uncertain about the cause. The company management was led by a group of 7 principals, along with the company president, Bob Miller, and together they made all of the strategic and operational decisions each month. The group often got bogged down in operational details and sometimes spent hours discussing minor issues in an effort to be fair to all concerned. A governance consultant was hired in 1998 to help streamline the organization's leadership. The end result was a stronger corporate structure in which the stockholders annually elected a board of directors who oversaw the president and set the company's strategic direction. The president was to be elected by the board annually and would be in full charge of the operational aspects of the company. As this streamlined governance concept evolved over the following year, project profits improved, morale rose, and staff became more focused. However, 3 principals chose to seek career opportunities elsewhere, and this presented an opportunity for Dennis Thomas, Dan Tintner, and Mike Kroll to be promoted to vice president positions. The company continued to grow. Bob Miller and Bob Legg, because of the higher profile of Miller Legg, were invited to serve on many more organization boards and to volunteer the company for service to local nonprofit organizations. Miller Legg and its staff contributed to the successes of Habitat for Humanity, Boys and Girls Clubs, Women in Distress, Children's Harbor, Child Care Connection, and many more organizations. In 1999, Bob Legg was honored as the Humanitarian of the Year by the Ease Foundation. There were many other programs and company events that were born in this era. The statement of our first sound business practices, the Performance Award Program, the Dream Team, the Pipeline Internal Weekly Newsletter, the first open house and employee benefits fair, and Inside MLA monthly sessions to share the talents and knowledge of each department with others were all instituted. Business development efforts under the leadership of Cara Pasquale and Kathy Brennan began to show results by improving the balance of private and public work awarded. They helped keep the work pipeline full. Miller Legg received a significant honor, being selected in 1999 as Small Business of the Year by the South Florida Business Journal. This period was an interesting one during which the Oklahoma City Federal Building was bombed by Timothy McVeigh. Football great O.J. Simpson was acquitted of the slaying of his wife Nicole and her friend in 1995. And the Florida Gators won their first NCAA National Football Championship in 1996. President Bill Clinton was almost driven from office by the Monica Lewinsky scandal.